Right, that countdown music be having me going and get me in the flow. So, welcome, welcome. Happy Friday. We are on the Loyalty and Friends Self Love Podcast. It is 7:30. We are on time, and we have special guest, Mr. Paul Deitch. Did I say it right?
It's Deitch, but it's
Deitch.
okay.
Hold
Yeah.
on, say it one more time. Deitch.
uh, Deitch.
Deitch.
Yeah.
I don't know. It gets me tongue tied every time. So Paul Deitch, okay? Let's put some respect on it. Paul Deitch. I said, look, I'm gonna say it so many times in this show that I'm gonna know it by heart every time. So this is my challenge today. So thank you so much, Paul. We did have part one of the interview, of course, on Instagram. So y'all go tap in for sure. If you missed part one, it was really the introduction to kind of tell us what he does. He is the guru when it comes to LinkedIn for sure. So I would tell you, if you want to get traction or know how to use LinkedIn for your benefit and know how to monetize and find your tribe, man, I'm telling you, you should connect with Paul for sure. And of course, I know we got some work coming up. And man, I'm telling you, I learned a lot just in the few conversations we have had. So I want to kind of tap in. I want to go a slight different direction because we talked about
Sure.
the business aspect, and that's great. But let's talk about you. Let's talk about you overall. I want to know a little bit about your childhood, what did that look like? Where did you come from? And then what led up even to what you're doing now? What was your inspiration? So let's start with the childhood first.
Oh yeah. Okay. What an interesting question. So I grew up pretty unconventionally. I was born and raised in Hawaii. I grew up with my grandparents. My mom was a single mom. My dad wasn't really a part of my life much because he was a drug addict. And I've always, since I was little, there's been two things that I've been addicted to my entire life, really, and it's been learning and helping people. And I was I was extremely academically gifted, and I pretty much had my entire life planned out since I was 10 years old. I wanted to be a neurosurgeon back in a place where nobody knew what a neurosurgeon was. And I actually started going to college when I was 16 years old to pursue it. And I I went for probably about a year, and then when I turned 17 was kind of, I call it my coming of age moment, or when life called my number. And I had lost both my grandparents at that point. My dad passed away. My mom became medically disabled. So in the Instagram, we talked about how I've spent most of my professional career in the finance industry. And that was really a big part of it, was because I supported my family financially in Hawaii since I was 17 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I didn't know anything about money or finance because it was considered taboo to talk about. So that's really been a lot of my story, I guess you would say. And really, in terms of how I got started doing what I was doing on LinkedIn, I moved to Florida in March of last year when I started training with elite mentors in business and finance. And I was a first generation entrepreneur, so I didn't really know anything about like marketing, sales, all these. Well, I knew a lot about sales because that's what I did for my profession for when I was in the banking industry.
Mm-hmm.
And but I didn't really know anything about marketing, and I wasn't really a big fan of social media. So I kind of had to do it because it's, basically free marketing. And I I wasn't really having a lot of success on any of the social media platforms. I was on Facebook and Instagram to start, and it was probably because of the industry that I was in. A lot of people don't like to talk about money, and
Right.
on the platforms that I was on, they're they're very big on people kind of keeping up with appearances. And because I was born and raised in Hawaii, there really was no reason for me to use LinkedIn or really know about it because it was a small island where everyone pretty much kind of knew everyone. And
Mm-hmm.
I do remember somebody saying that, hey, maybe you should be on LinkedIn because it's a professional platform.
Right.
And I said, oh, okay, I'll look into it. And I ended up investing in this program that was world renowned. And it ended up, for me, I say that my journey to LinkedIn started out as a $10,000 mistake. I
Mm-hmm.
invested in a world-renowned program that, it checked all the boxes. I had a great conversation with the person who was kind of in charge of it. They had great testimonials. They were backed by people in my industry who I widely respected, but it didn't work out because I didn't know how to use LinkedIn. Whereas every other kind of professional, LinkedIn is kind of like it was known, right, as like the
Mm-hmm.
maybe networking and job search and all these type of things. So people kind of knew about it. And I didn't know how to use it. And then I remember having a conversation with someone that I met through a mentorship group who kind of specialized in LinkedIn.
Mm.
And I really just had this intuition for some reason that, this is where I needed to be. And after it didn't work out, I invested in another program. And I mean, really, my journey on LinkedIn has been pretty magical, I would say, right? Been on, I've spoken on 60 plus podcasts, live shows, and events off
Mm.
the platform in the past 9 months. I've
Right.
grown a following from 0 to 3,000, and I have a network that spans the entire globe. But more than anything, I've built so many incredible relationships with people, right? And at the end of the day, that's really what business and really I feel life is about is just forming relationships and building connections with people. So yeah,
Absolutely, absolutely. And I just like that. And the thing is, I always, like to share with people. The more you're willing to share knowledge, the more you'll be blessed because at the end of the day, the world is big. It's a big pot for all of us. Okay. So
yeah,
you sharing it with one person is not going to take anything away from what you have going on because at the end of the day your market is going to look different than the next person. So
for sure.
always be willing to help somebody and give good knowledge to people because you benefiting them is going to benefit the overall and even yourself, because then they'll be able to tell, say, hey, well, this person taught me this, and because of them now I'm able to do X, Y, and Z. So yes, thank you.
Yeah,
I appreciate this. I definitely
definitely.
appreciate this. So, okay, so outside of LinkedIn, what was your other adventures that you're doing currently?
So outside of LinkedIn, I became a brand ambassador for Owl, which is actually where you and I met.
Hoo, hoo,
Yeah,
hoo, hoo, hoo.
and it's been awesome. I've had a great conversation and starting to build an incredible relationship with the founder Jason, and
Absolutely.
we had we had an incredible audio event last night on LinkedIn about really mixing both LinkedIn and Owl together as they really complement each other in terms of what one does well and then the weaknesses the other one kind of covers. So that was a really interesting conversation that we had, was really exploring how I really see there being a future kind of collaboration between Owl and LinkedIn, because Owl's like really good for one-on-one connection, right? Which is like really what LinkedIn is kind of built on, is the idea of like building connections, building relationships. However, as you know, right, for a lot of professionals, your calendar is like kind of sacred, right? So if you want to speak to somebody, sometimes you got to wait weeks, you got to wait months in advance. Whereas with Owl, you can set a price, and if somebody wants to speak to you, bad enough, they can do that instantly. And
Absolutely.
the accessibility aspect really is intriguing for a lot of people. I think we had maybe almost like 20 people signed up last night, so it was pretty yeah, it was pretty powerful. A lot of people and I like it too because the biggest challenge that many entrepreneurs face is that this whole idea of monetization is such a challenge, right? Across social media platforms for creators, for people who create products. The conversation tends to get a little weird anytime you talk about money, right? And I see that all the time on LinkedIn, is that you have these so many creators, so many people who put out good content, they're selling products, they're selling services, but they're not really converting and making money. And that was one of the reasons, obviously, why I put out my course, LinkedIn Success. But more than anything, that was why, for me, I felt really called after just being on OWL for like a week, a little over a week, to
Mhm.
become an ambassador, because it's like there's so many people on LinkedIn who could be benefiting from this, right? And I love everything that, Jason's about, and that the way that he has it structured, and yeah, it's a really unique thing. And then the other thing that I'm exploring is my perspective on the world, I'd say, is pretty different, just because I've spent the past 2 years training with some of the most successful people in the world. I've been a part of multiple high-level masterminds and mentorships,
Mhm.
and there, I'm the only one in these groups in my 20s. So when I left, one of the reasons why I left my finance career, or I guess you would say pivoted, is I really wanted to focus on kind of being a mentor to my generation. So I'm actually exploring. I got reached out to the other day to be uh, on the board of directors of a nonprofit. So that's like another thing that I'm playing with. And then my goal to finish out the year is to have my book published. It's called The Greatest Detour, the University of Adversity, which is basically kind of about my journey of leaving college to enter. My metaphor for life is the University of Adversity. So, yeah,
I'm loving it. So I want to speak on a couple of things you mentioned. Of course, Al,
yeah,
because I'm definitely a brand ambassador as well. I've been on Al now probably a bit over a year. I think I just made my year anniversary as of September. I'm positive I
wow,
did. So yes, and as you see, man, we've been running, like taking the ground and running with it. I've actually been able to achieve over 500 calls in, like receive calls, but I've probably made about that many calls as well. So, and that's why I would tell anybody, if you want to achieve something, you have to be able to give what you want to also receive.
for
So you
sure.
can't be one of those just sitting back waiting for calls to come your way. It has to be reciprocated. I do believe in the law of reciprocity, for sure. So, and when you reciprocate, you get it back way tenfold. So I've made almost $2,000 on the app for sure.
Wow, that's awesome.
Absolutely. So it's realistic. I would tell anybody, like, if you need, even if you're not attempting to get on there to monetize, if you need professional help for something, or you need a mental health advocate or something of that nature, a lawyer, if you're having some legal issues or something that you might need some legal assistance with, they got lawyers, doctors, they have, like I said, mental health professionals. We have people who do podcasts like myself. We got Mr. Paul. He's very well endowed with the LinkedIn community and so much more. Okay, and I do want to encourage you about the book. Of course, I just came out with my first book as of August, and I manifest
Awesome.
that that was right before my birthday. Literally 2 days before my birthday, my book went live on Amazon, and my book is Loyalty in Everything: A Guide to Building Strong Relationships in Business and Life. And people don't think about it, like a lot of times relationships fail just because of that, because there is no loyalty given to the relationships.
Mm,
So we can get back to being loyal in everything we do. And just to break that down real quick, for me, okay, I don't know, I'm not here to force religion on anyone, but I believe in God. But when I serve
mm,
him and I put him at the head of what I do and give him the servitude and just really commit to his will for my life and not my own, that sets the way for everything. I used to try my own way and that did not work out. So once I started really taking him seriously and just seeking his face and everything that I do and what his mission is for my life, things start to align for me. And that helps me also be loyal to myself, putting myself first, making sure I create that overflow for me. So when it's time, I can say the big yeses. So that's what got me to this point now where I'm able to get the nonprofit established. And now this is going to put me on a different platform where I will be able to say yes to the community and be able to be of help and servitude to our community. And of course, because once you create your overflow, so you have to have an overflow, okay? Do not pour from your full cup. I'm going to say that one more time. Do not pour from your full cup because now your cup is no longer full. So now you're continuously chasing to get it back full. And now you're going to create burnout. You're going to feel overwhelmed. You're going to feel used and abused. And honestly, you have to blame yourself for that because you didn't pour and fill your cup up first. Okay. So create the overflow because that overflow is what you pour into others. So your cup can remain full. And that's going to then teach us how to be loyal to other people. Okay. How do you be loyal to others is by holding them accountable. Make sure you hold your brother and sister accountable. I believe it's important not to just give the fish to our fellow mates, right? Teach them how to fish and they'll be able to take that lesson with them a lot further. Okay. So when you just give them everything, they're going to always keep coming for you to get that same thing back because they don't know how to do it themselves. So that's how we give value to others and that teaches us how to be loyal. And also don't talk about your brother just because they're in a down place. If you can't bring value to what they're doing or help them get in a better position, get them the resources. You may not be the one who can do it, but maybe you know someone who can help them. But belittling and talking down, that does not help the situation. Last but not least, be loyal to what you choose to digest, whether it's food or knowledge, okay? Because food, let's talk about it. Our bodies are our temples. When you don't take care of your bodies, you can tell. You get the telltale signs. You start to have health issues, other things happen. So the more you take care of your body, then the more your body will take care of you. So that's just a reminder. Be mindful of what you're eating and what you choose to digest as far as knowledge. All knowledge is not good knowledge. So make sure that you're doing your research as well when you're receiving knowledge so you can make sure it's going to bring value to your purpose and your will that God has for you, okay? And if it's going to devalue you, spit it out. You don't need that stuff, okay? Spit it out. So that's loyalty and everything. Great read. I would encourage you all, go get it. It's on Amazon. You know, you purchasing this book is going to bring an amazing value to your life and benefit to your life. So I would tell anybody, go get it. And make sure, y'all, we're going to be on the lookout for Paul's book. I'm excited. And just put a date on it. I'm going to tell you, that's how you really manifest. Once you make that date, it makes you have to then be accountable because you put it in the atmosphere. So you have to be intentional about your dates. So I'm looking forward to your read, publishing that and everything else God has in store for you with the nonprofit, and so much more to come. So let the people know before we wrap this up. And also, y'all, we got a part 3. It gets even better, okay? So this is just going to be a Q&A. It is question and answer. If you want to get help in getting your profile together and getting solidified on LinkedIn, I'm telling you, come over here, ask the questions that you need to ask. He does quite a bit, okay? So I'm going to let him share what he does again, and then also let you all know how you all as a community can also support, all right? And how you can connect with him. So the mic is on you, Paul.
Yeah, so I just want to say thank you so much to everybody for showing up, both here and on Instagram. Time is our greatest gift, so appreciate that you gave it to me and loyalty supporting her. So in terms of LinkedIn, for me, I'm a LinkedIn strategist, and I would say reach out to me if you are an entrepreneur who is trying to be seen really on LinkedIn, right? There's a lot of people who are creating content. They feel like they're spending hours and hours and hours trying to be seen and they're not. That was really why my course was created, was to teach people not only how to use the platform, but to then gain visibility and then turn it into money. Because we talked about that on Instagram, that entrepreneurship and business is really about monetizing your story. So if that's something that you are interested in, please connect with me on LinkedIn. send me a message. I love helping people. If you just have a question, I'd be happy to answer it. Yeah, and then in terms of the other services that I have is definitely my course. I have multiple versions of it. There's a recording only version if you want to do it at kind of your own pace. It's a 4-week program, and it really breaks down the 4 processes that I use to basically create my own reach on LinkedIn. I can do events now without inviting people, and people show up. I can do a post at any time of day, and because my network's global, I get reach. And it's really about just showing people how to utilize those strategies and also get their message seen on the world. And I'm looking forward to the get together. It's on Clubhouse, right, for part 3? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yes, indeed. So, all right, y'all. Make sure y'all tap in. I'm telling you, you will not be disappointed. I'm looking forward to working with Paul. And get on Al, okay? We can't tell you, and we can't stress it anymore. OWWLL. You can go to Google Play or you can go to the App Store, okay? And hey, you can put in either one of our referral codes. I'm not sure. What is your referral code? Let them know your referral code if you
Oh, my
can.
referral code is it's PA180259.
Awesome. Or you could put in loyalty. I know that's probably a little easier, but again, if y'all can go back and replay this, get the code, man, download it. When you put in the referral code, you do get a $10 bonus. Okay. So that's a great way to start out and really start utilizing the app for your benefit. So I'm telling you, you will not regret it. And you get to monetize day one. Okay. I don't know too many apps that let you download and you start making money as soon as you get on the app, like literally within
Yeah,
seconds. Okay.
for sure.
So thank you so much. I truly appreciate you so much. And with that being said, we're going to wrap this up. You all join us on Clubhouse at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for our Q&A section. Okay. Question and answer. We will have Paul there. We want to keep it down and hopefully to 30 minutes, but sometimes I know these things can be a little long-winded, but I want to be respectful of his time. So yes, if y'all want to come, join us at 8 promptly on Clubhouse in the Loyalty and Friends house, okay? Loyalty and Friends. You should be able to find us. And on that note, if you need your story told, y'all know how to get in contact with me. Tap in, and I'd be honored to tell your story as well so you can get the support you need. All right. On that note, any last words, Paul, before we wrap this up?
I just want to say, to everyone here, like, you have an incredible story, right? And when I came onto LinkedIn, right, I gave you all the things that I was able to do. I didn't know anybody professionally, right?
Mhm.
I really didn't even know how to use the app, and the only thing that I had was my story. And I feel like your story will become someone else's survival guide. And if we knew the people that we would impact, and if we knew the names and faces of the people that we would really transform. I know a lot of people are afraid, right? There's a lot of fear, there's a lot of doubt, there's a lot of resentment, whatever it is. But
Mhm.
I just want to encourage you to bet on yourself, and if you ever need anything on LinkedIn, or just, you need a friend, a connection, reach out to me, and I'd be happy to help.
Absolutely, man. So y'all see, look, he is an amazing guy. Get on Al, connect with Paul, give him a call if you want to have a one-on-one conversation just to see how you can leverage and use LinkedIn for your benefit, okay? And even sign up for the course, okay? Let's be intentional and let's get the work done so we can really create the wealth and success that I know we all have within us. So thank you. And I'll see y'all at 8 o'clock. Until next time. Bye.
Bye.